Guys, as I showed you in my last video, Bitcoin is still in this massive wake of logic, and I can already tell you Bitcoin is almost at the point where we can form the next accumulation phase before then heading here to the upside once again with the price. The only question is, and this I actually found a new chart pattern, guys, which gives us the first hint where this accumulation phase is going to happen. Will it happen between $35,000 and $40,000? Will it happen between $30,000 and $34,000? Or will it maybe even happen below the $30,000 level, maybe even in the low $20,000 area? I will tell you exactly what I'm expecting and why I am expecting that. It's pretty simple. What we have seen in the past for Bitcoin, and I have to go to the bigger timeframes now to explain this a little bit more in detail. Guys, by the way, if you haven't already, please make sure to smash up a like here on the video on the Crypto Mode channel. If you haven't already, let's reach 1,000 likes. We do that on every single video. And if you haven't subscribed already, if your subscriber button still looks red, please make sure to click it, activate the bell next to the subscription button, and you won't miss out on any future uploads. But now let's jump back into the charts, because I also, before I show you this new chart pattern, which is actually going to break out today, since it is happening on the smaller time frames, one thing we have to keep in mind here is, first of all, a lot of people are talking about the $35,000 level as a bounce, or the retailers are expecting actually the $30,000 level to be a bounce, because we perfectly bounced here 2 times in this price area. We are also getting here now the 100 weekly moving average in as support, and in general we have fundamentally good news coming out for Bitcoin. We also had some FUD, but in general, I mean, there is general good momentum fundamentally for Bitcoin happening around the world. The only thing that we have seen in the last few bull cycles is that Bitcoin actually never bottomed out at the 100 weekly moving average. And this is, I'm not quite sure why so many people are talking about this possibility, probably only because it is in confluence with the $30,000 to $34,000 level of our previous consolidation phases before we pumped against the 11-year resistance. This is why I actually think people now think that the 100 weekly moving average could be the bottom, but I will show you exactly why I don't think that in a moment with this new chart pattern as well. Because in the history for Bitcoin, at least, we always bounced at the 200 weekly moving average, and who would have guessed that this 200 weekly moving average actually is exactly at our old all-time high of the 2017 bull market, and is also in perfect confluence with our massive 11-year support that also Bitcoin has never broken really to the downside. Besides in the Corona crash, this for sure was a wick to the downside that usually wouldn't have happened for Bitcoin. So in general, if we don't have a black swan event, I'm not really expecting the Bitcoin price to go much below $20,000, maybe a very short wick, but that should be it. The only thing is, why am I saying that I don't think that we are going to bounce at the 100 weekly moving average? I have to show you this now with the smaller time frames. First of all, guys, keep in mind the big players in the crypto market are interested in one single thing. The retailers should buy high and sell low. This is what the big players have in their interest, because this is how they make the most money, right? Because every winning trade also has a losing trade behind it, or every winning investment also has a losing investment behind it. So what happens here is that the retailers now all think that we will bottom at $31,000, but the big players have no interest in that. Either the big players want to have the bounce happening now already above the $35,000 level, because this would be a price level where most retailers think that we will again fall lower and won't buy yet, / will still maybe even sell, because they are so bearish and in panic right now that they think we could definitely correct down to the $22,000 level. So that would be an interesting thing for the big players to now already accumulate while every one of the retailers is selling, and then breaking the price to the upside and having this reversal, maybe even with a lower high. The retailers, again, they sold their Bitcoin pretty much exactly at the bottom, and now they have to FOMO in at higher prices, buy back, and this will accelerate the move to the upside for the big players, which then means FOMO sets in and they have enough time and enough buying volume to again sell their bags that they accumulated here in the final accumulation phase. So let's take a look at the chart pattern, which is now going to decide, in my opinion, if this consolidation phase is going to happen between, or is going to happen above the $34,000 level or the $35,000 level, or is it going to happen below the $30,000 level? Because I don't think that the big players will let the retailers accumulate at the prices that the retailers think the bottom will be in. The bottom will either be above that or below, because one of both, they either then will wreck all the retailers that entered now right, or that entered between $30,000 to $34,000 because they think that's the bottom, they will either wreck the retailers by breaking the 100 weekly moving average to the downside and retesting here the $20,000 level, or they will actually bounce now already that the retailers don't even have a chance anymore to enter the market. One of these two scenarios is realistic. So what do we have to keep an eye out now? We have to keep an eye on the first bounce, because it's very important that the accumulation phase, and as you guys know, the accumulation, Wyckoff accumulation phase always consists of multiple tests of a horizontal support and multiple tests of a horizontal resistance. This is how you're creating this accumulation zone. And me personally, I think that there is a great chance of us actually reversing before falling to the downside. And there's one small chart pattern that is the first hint that is getting put out there actually by the Bitcoin price. It's the 1 hourly time frame. And as I see, I have to upload this video immediately because this symmetrical triangle looks to be breaking to the downside right now. What is very important is that we need to get follow-through volume for the symmetrical triangle. We need to get follow-through volume to know that this is a confirmed breakout and not just a fake out. It's very possible that within the next 9 minutes, maybe the 1 hourly candle gets bought back up again and we are actually bouncing inside of the triangle. Either way, guys, if we are breaking here the triangle either to the upside or the downside, and you can see exactly here how symmetrical triangles work. A symmetrical triangle can either be formed in a bullish uptrend or in a bearish downtrend. If it's formed in a bearish downtrend, the likelihood of its breaking to the downside is actually higher as it breaking to the upside. I personally wouldn't sell instantly on the drop down because Bitcoin loves to form retests, and this is the reason why I would wait. If we are even breaking here the symmetrical triangle to the downside, I would wait for a retest. I want to first of all see some sell volume coming in here. I want to see some buy volume coming in. I want to see some sell volume coming in here, and then when we are correcting to the downside and we are retesting here the low point, because the low point needs to be broken before we know that this breakout is actually confirmed, right? We need to break this low point with significant volume so we know that this breakout is confirmed. And what happens then is that our price target here at the current moment for the symmetrical triangle would actually be the $33,000 level. So when this symmetrical triangle now breaks to the downside, we already pretty much know that for the big players at least, if they don't completely change their game plan to what happened in the history of Bitcoin, we actually have to expect that Bitcoin will even correct below the $30,000 level, because like I just explained to you guys, the retailers are all thinking about a bottom around the $31,000 level. This is what I'm seeing on Twitter, this is what I'm seeing in my YouTube comments, and the big players never want the retailers to win. So if we are breaking here to the upside, the bullish scenario, I mean, then the same for the downside. We need to have a breakout to the upside with significant buy volume. We want to see a retest. We want to see buy volume coming in at the retest. And as soon as we bounce, we want to have additional buy volume coming in as soon as we are breaking here the old high point to the upside. And in this case, I will actually even scale up my long positions because, as you guys know, I'm still in a few $100,000 worth of Bitcoin long positions with a 3x leverage. So I want to make sure that I am prepared to either scale them up for the up run or actually not scale them up for quite some time till the price gets close to my liquidation price, which is near the $30,000 levels at the moment. If we're getting close to that, I will for sure scale my trade a little bit up so that my average entry point, or maybe I will decrease the leverage so that my average entry point moves way below and I can move it well below the $20,000 level where I just showed you. This very important weekly support is coming in at the last stage, the 200 weekly moving average, which we never broke to the downside in a bull market significantly besides wicks, and also the 11-year resistance that the 11-year support, which we also never have even broken to the downside, just a small wick here. And for sure, when the Black Swan event, the Corona dump happened, then we also dumped below the 11-year resistance. But in general, actually, we either see, like I said, a accumulation phase now or below the $20,000 level. That's at least my opinion. I cannot really imagine that the big players will allow the retailers to enter at their desired price, because this just doesn't make sense from a game plan perspective for them. So let's see what happens. In general, I mean, we are still very, very bullish fundamentally. I mean, El Salvador, the president of El Salvador, he just bought another 410 Bitcoin for a total of $15 million. By the way, someone that is, it's definitely worth it to follow him here on Twitter. I mean, he says he's the CEO of El Salvador and just tweeted today his new profile pic with the McDonald's head and everything on top, because the Bitcoin price is dumping so hard. So actually very fun. I like to see actually a president president of a whole country actually supporting Bitcoin so heavily, and then even participating here in the meme culture a little bit. Very, very great to see. And for sure, one thing that we will see in the future more often with Bitcoin, I think, and also with public figures that you normally would rather think would completely stay serious and won't make any jokes on social media, like, for example, Elon Musk does also now and then, or actually very often. But now, let's not talk too much, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to smash up a like. Don't forget to subscribe and activate the channel. Keep an eye on this symmetrical triangle, because if it breaks to the upside, guys, I mean, this could be then an indication that we are going to not correct down more. I think then we could see an accumulation phase. The very important thing for this accumulation phase is that you are not going long or you are entering any positions as long as we don't have this support above the $34,000 level then confirmed multiple times. And even then, I would take a look if this accumulation phase is actually a picture perfect Wyckoff accumulation phase, because in that case then we can predict with each day that is going to go on now for the next 2 weeks pretty much, we can get a better and better and better feeling on if we're breaking to the downside or the upside. And that's why I'm not rushing into any trades right now. That's why I have my 3x long positions open, and that's why I will scale them down in the case that a symmetrical triangle breaks to the downside confirmed and we are breaking below the $34,000 level significantly, which in my opinion will also then result in the midterm to a correction all the way down to the $22,000 level, or the accumulation phase at least happens way below the $31,000 level where all the retailers then entered the market, so that you really even wash out the weekends that maybe entered at $31,000. At the end of the day, this is probably the goal of the big players. But now, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, don't forget to subscribe, activate the bell next to you, the subscription button if you haven't already, smash up a like, and we are going to see us in the next one. Till then, bye.